Hello, I am Kat. I'm the editor of Rock and Roll Bride magazine, and these are 5 things I would never do at my own wedding. Number 1, I would never have a friend or family member take the photos. I have heard so many horror stories in the 14 years I've been doing this of people that have wanted to save money, or they've said, they've got an uncle that's got a great camera, and it very rarely works out. I've heard so many stories of people hating their photos, and then there's nothing they can do about it. So, for the love of God, put your budget into wedding photography, because you can't redo it. Number 2, I would not allow people to take photos during the ceremony on their phones, because what ends up happening is you end up with 100 crap photos at terrible angles of you doing your vows, and then when you get your professional photos back, all the photos have people behind their phones like this in it. So put up a sign or get your officiant to make an announcement at the beginning and say, please no photos during the ceremony. We've got a professional, they know what they're doing, you're going to ruin it. Number 3 would be having the ceremony too late in the day. I would always try and have the ceremony between like 1 or 12:30 and 2, especially if you're having a winter wedding, because if you have the wedding late, it's probably going to be getting dark by the time you're finished, and then unless you do the photos before, your photos are going to be dark and crap. So that's the first thing. But the other thing is, the later the ceremony, the less time you have to party and to be with your guests, and people always say the wedding day goes so fast. So have your ceremony nice and early in the day. Number 4, I would never, ever, 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 ever buy a wedding dress that didn't fit, that I was gonna slim into. Number 1, it's toxic. Number 2, it's not something we want to be encouraging people to do. Number 3, it's going to add extra pressure to you to lose weight, and then if you don't do it, it's going to make you feel bad about yourself and potentially be very expensive to get it like refitted or buy a new dress. Just buy a dress that fits you. If you then end up losing weight, you can have it taken in, but just get rid of that pressure. It's just toxic that we do not support. Number 5, I would not over order food. So many weddings, people think people are going to be like ravenous all day, and they have too much food, which ends up costing too much money, and there's loads of waste. You don't need canapes and an ice cream bar and a taco station and a sweet table and dinner and dessert and cake and an evening buffet. People just don't need that much food. Skip the evening buffet, your bank balance will thank you. Number 1, or number 6, depending on how you look at it. I would never not include my partner in the wedding planning. Now I know if you are a straight woman marrying a straight man, they may not be that interested in flowers and wedding dresses and dove releases, but it is their wedding too, so, get them involved. They might have some things they want to have included too. They do. Number 2, stress too much about what other people think. People spend so much time worrying about if people are going to enjoy the day or if they're going to think their wedding is like weird or horrible, and in the nicest possible way, they don't care about your wedding as much as you think they do, and if they're going to be mean and judgmental, then they probably shouldn't get invited anyway. So just do what you want. It's your day. Hopefully you only get to do this once, so you might as well do things that make you happy. Number 3, and this is something I was guilty of when I got married in 2008, is being too safe with my outfit choice. I was worried about like being too out there, and I ended up wearing a dress that was actually quite traditional, and looking back at it now, I'm like, God, I wish I'd been braver. I wish I'd like gone for something more my style rather than just something that was traditional and white. Don't be too safe. I think the notion of having a timeless wedding is, who cares about something being timeless? I think it's kind of fun to look back and be like, God, look at what my fashion was like 20 years ago when I got married. Timeless. Just wear something that you feel amazing in, and don't worry about being too out there, because I think it's way more fun that way if you feel like yourself. Number 4, something I would never do if I was getting married now, is to have too many bridesmaids. I get it. If you've got lots of friends, you want them all to be included in the day, but more bridesmaids means more drama, because you've got more people to keep happy with their dresses and, involve them in the hen do and all that stuff. The more bridesmaids you have, the more expensive it gets, because you have to clothe them, you have to feed them, you have to invite them to all the events. Like, you can give your friends other jobs that don't have to be bridesmaids. Like, you can get one of them to do a reading, or you could get someone to like walk you down the aisle. Like, they don't all have to be bridesmaids in matching dresses. That is stressful. And number 5, the thing I would never do if I was getting married again now would be not have a videographer. I think the video is something that a lot of people overlook because they're like, I've spent loads of money so far, we're going to have photos, people will film clips on their phone. It's never the same. If you have the budget, have a videographer. You won't regret it.